Okay. All right. Just yeah. All right. I'm gonna watch ourselves on. Oh wait. I actually can watch ourselves on my tablet here. Let's see what we look like. I think we're on. Okay. Any questions about from last time? Is there anything we'd like to go over?
Let me think. We're crashing with Creel at the pedal sniffers right now, right?
Yes.
And the assistant with the guards with our money, was there any other information that he had for us?
No, he just gave you the money, thanked you as a representative of the office of the mayor of Goblin Town. That was about it. They didn't explain anything else because a lot of things are still kind of fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the mayor didn't actually have a chance to inspect the scene because Dagmar scared him off. So, that's probably happening while after you've gotten paid, or at least while you're getting paid. The assistant wouldn't know anything.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let me see. Okay, good. All right, so I'll do. Okay, I can see. All right, I'm looking at our stream right now. All right. I'll just do a little recap then while we're getting set up on the stream. So, last time, you were feeling that sense of victory from having defeated the monster, the bar guest, and the goblins did their best to put out the fires, which you had started, to defeat said bar guest, and they were trying to get things under control. An individual, a large half-orc, wielding a great axe, appeared and explained that she had been tracking the monster and demanded her own cut of the bounty on the monster's head. There was quite a scene. Tempers flared, but you were able to get it under control, and you were able to negotiate with Dagmar, and all four of you eventually made your way to the fire boilers, the Brewers Guild, had some drinks, and got to know each other. You decided to ask to spend the night at the pedal sniffers, who are the herbalists, and most of you decided to spend the night in the Garden of Flowers there. Dagmar, on the other hand, decided to keep watch outside and fell asleep. Into quite a deep sleep from having drunken so much the night before, or from earlier. As you were falling asleep, you did notice that that there were some human guards and some humans walking past the building down the aisle, north view, toward what would be the Butcher's Guild. All right, so it is now morning. You hear birds chirping. You hear roosters crowing. All right, what's the first thing you're gonna do?
Well, Grundle is probably already up in a little bit.
No one's actually in the building yet. It's not open. You're still locked inside ostensibly.
Oh, okay. Because I thought I slept outside in the garden.
Oh no, you yes, in the garden, but within the complex that's this the guild hall. There's a sort of wall that separates the garden from the alley.
Gotcha.
Actually, let me see here. I'll make that a little bit bigger. So that's actually what I meant by this little line right here on my map here. That's the wall, and then the little blank spot would be the garden.
Gotcha.
No one wants to eat breakfast?
I was gonna say. Guess we can't get inside. Well, we could leave. We could just go elsewhere, right?
Well,
Go
yeah,
across the street to the baker's.
you can still go through the building. The building is open to you, but the outermost doors are locked. So you can just jump the fence,
Okay.
or go through the window and head to the baker's.
Yeah, and I'll go check on Dagmar. Go outside.
Okay.
Dagmar's out in the street, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Go ahead.
should we try to
Dagmar-
like drag her inside and leave her in the bed of flowers? Because she's clearly too passed out to. I don't want to leave her laying in the street.
Yeah.
Dagmar. I mean, no one here smells that nice, especially compared to the flowers. But Dagmar smells heavily of alcohol. She's snoring. She's sort of slumped to the side, breathing. And whatever attempts you take at holding her or dragging her, she does not stir. She does not seem at all like she's going to wake up.
Okay.
Okay. I take the opportunity to put again a couple of flowers in her belt.
Okay. As you do that, you notice that there is a small, like, crown or wreath of flowers on her head already. So as you put her back, I'm guessing you're going to be as gentle as you can, or you're not just going to throw her over the fence.
No, if someone could help me, pick up this barbarian and
Yeah.
Don't look at me. I'm like 3'3".
Janera, I guess it's you and I. We gotta
Yeah.
put her in a safe spot off the street.
Okay. I'll just assume that you do your best to gently and carefully put her over the top of the wall.
Okay.
I just would like you to describe. So, Etheria and Janera, you need to describe how you lay her out, like on the porch, in the garden. What are you gonna do with the flowers?
Okay, well, I think we'll just lay her down on her back in the bed of flowers where you guys slept, right?
Yeah.
I think. She still has this wreath on her head and the flowers in her belt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know.
Yeah, I guess just try to make her like as comfortable as possible.
Avoiding the temptation to pull out a Sharpie and draw a mustache on her. I won't do that.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll druid craft her a nice little pillow out of flowers.
Ooh. Okay. So, Gradal waves his hands, says the spell, and flowers sort of erupt and bloom and sort of knit themselves together into a little soft pillow for her. Let's see, I want to make sure I understand the druid craft here. Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. So he basically makes a pillow out of grass and flowers there in the flower bed. Ooh. Okay. So Dagmar is sleeping comfortably. You can hear the sounds of the town waking up. You start to hear the creaking of wagon wheels rolling. You can hear pots and pans starting to clink together. You can hear someone singing off in the distance. And I'm guessing now that you're going to start to head to the baker's, you start to smell the warm smell of baking goods. Let's see here. You're just going to head up to the baker's then, right?
Yeah, I think so. Do you guys want to?
Yeah, that sounds
Yep.
like a plan.
All right.
Sounds good. This is me speaking out of character, but you realize that you've made me crave donuts now in the worst possible way.
No.
I can smell the bakery. Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to the magic of role playing. All right. So this is a picture of the guild leader of the bakers. All right. So all of the goblin bakers have these sort of dusty aprons, rolled up sleeves, and little baker's hats. And you also notice that on all of them, every single one of them, have this sort of fake mustache on. That is sort of their guild symbol. That as a guild member and as and particularly when they're working, they have that little mustache on. Okay. So as you come up to the baker, there's only like one or two. It's a very, very short line of people waiting for their goods. And someone greets you. Oh, good morning. I'm. Wow, I didn't realize that we're getting that popular even among the humans. The goblin says, looking at a theory. I guess that's a point of pride for us. So how can I help you? What would you like?
We're here for breakfast. What are your specialties?
All right. We have small buns. We have some cakes. We have Prince cake. If you'd like that. Actually, let me retcon that. I'm gonna call it Warlord cake. I'm gonna just call that Warlord cake for right now. And of course we have donuts.
Perfect.
Okay. Now, Gradal is all about the donuts because, of course, I'm all about the donuts. But out of curiosity, I have to ask why they call it Warlord Cake.
Warlord cake. Do you want an explanation from the goblin? Or wait, no. So you are a goblin, so you probably would know this. So this would be out of character description. A warlord cake, it's a kind of like a ring cake. The shape of it is I don't know. Is that a bundt cake? I guess. The one that's the giant donut shape.
Yeah.
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 So what happens is in the cake itself, they bake a small figurine, and the figurine is the warlord. So when you eat the cake, whoever gets the slice with the warlord in it, that's the person that's sort of tagged for the next special occasion. I'm stealing a Mexican tradition actually, and it's called King's Cake, but I'm changing the
Yeah.
warlord for
Yeah.
goblins.
I was gonna say it sounds like king cake.
That's cool.
Well, I'll have 2 small buns and some. Do you have goblin tea or anything? And some
Or
hot tea.
coffee.
Okay. A goblin tea? Yeah.
Is that a thing? I don't know.
We'll make it a thing, I guess.
Well, Gretel can confirm that there is such a thing as goblin tea and offers to once we're at the table.
Oh, great.
All right. Okay, so goblin tea. All right, and 2 buns. Okay. That's just 2. And they look up and wait. That's just 2 orders. Is that it or?
And a dozen donuts.
Okay. Right.
Burn
It
up a lot of
doesn't.
calories fighting
Wow.
donuts.
It does. So the goblin looks up like, wow, that's quite an appetite. Well, you're a big person, so I guess you'll need a lot of donuts then.
Yes.
And-
So many donuts.
Okay. So someone will be with you in a moment to take the money, and I'll be back as quick as I can to bring you your donuts and tea. Okay. So again, here at the bakers they don't really have tables, but you can see some crates, and some barrels that you can sit at. And some of the other people are taking the bread and putting it in baskets and walking off. Okay. You can hear a lot of people talking. There's a lot of gossip. They're talking about some sort of monster, and they're actually talking. They're worried about what the human mayor of Clark will do. And they're talking about some guards, that there seems to be some sort of guards, or there seem to be some sort of humans or human officials in Goblin Town now. They're not sure what they're doing, and you can hear a lot of theories whether those guards put the monster there, or they're going to take the monster into custody, the body, or they're going to burn down the whole Butcher's Guild, or arrest somebody. They don't know. But you can hear a lot of theories going on.
Mm.
Wow.
Okay. So a small goblin comes up to you. A young girl goblin comes up to you and says, "That will be a total of." Let me see. Yeah. That'll be a total of 2 silver.
Okay, I'll get this for everyone because Gretel bought a round for us last night.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Alright.
you very, very
Thank
much.
you. Thank you for coming here and buying our delicious bread. She kind of looks up at Aetheri and Genera and it's like, "You're kind of big. Are you the ones that killed the monster yesterday? I heard some big people did it."
Yeah, that was us.
There's a gasp, and she like runs off into the guild hall to tell them that she met the people who defeated the monster. Okay. So a few minutes later, one of the more adult goblins comes in and serves you all of your donuts and your buns and your goblin tea. The goblin tea comes in little in small simple ceramic cups. it's a pleasant sort of like floral tea, like what was I thinking, like dandelions, that kind of thing.
Nice.
The donuts are fairly simple. There's a few of them that are sugar. There's a few of them with like a light little bit of cinnamon. All delicious, all fresh and warm, and fluffy.
Dude, you are the worst. Like apple cider donuts. So these are just starting to turn color up here in Massachusetts, and I'm like, oh, I want to go out and get apple cider donuts, but
That sounds-
COVID.
Did
Oh.
Uber Eats deliver some or?
No, not around here, unfortunately.
Okay. Aw. Okay. So she also um um so there is okay, this goblin that serves you um gives you a bit of a smile and a bit of a wink, and it's like, wow, so you are the heroes that killed the monster. Like, tell me more. Like, what happened?
Mm.
She quickly like looks over her shoulder to make sure that no one's paying attention to her while she is not doing her work.
Well, I actually, you probably heard all the stories I say to this goblin, but I want to know, do you know, we saw some humans walking down the street last night. Do you know who they are or what they're doing here? Look like some guards or something?
Yes, it seems that it seems that even the humans on the other side of town were spooked by the monster. Or rather, they're scared that there are more monsters like that in Goblin Town. So I don't know what they're going to do, but a few of those human guards and city official looking people seem to be around asking questions. I think I've seen some of them even sitting inside the butcher's guild in the bone butcher's house.
Okay, so that's where they went, huh?
Okay.
Um,
I mean, it wasn't scary. Like, I still don't know what exactly was there. Like, why was there a monster? I've never heard of this before.
That's a good question. We don't know why there was the monster there. um, but he was bad.
Yeah, he was bad. All right. Well, I better get back to work. And so she hustles off inside to the building. And you can hear more whispers as more people come, and the line to the baker's is getting longer and longer.
So we're causing a scene in town, huh?
Well, you did kill the guild leader and
Yeah.
set his building on fire. Okay. As you're sort of... Yes, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just curious about all these rumors. But go ahead.
Okay. Well, as luck would have it, you see a human walking by, sort of hustling past you, heading north toward the butcher's hall or the butcher shop. Okay. You can stop him and ask for news.
Yeah, we probably should do that, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So you hail him down. It's like, oh, well, he looks a little bit of theory, looks at a little bit of genera, then looks a little bit surprised down at Grabdoll. I'm like, oh, hello, were you also sent by the mayor?
Which mayor, if you please?
The mayor, Margit Shreve.
No.
Just remember that, like, the Goblin Mayor, that's not his official title. He just calls himself that.
Yeah.
Everybody else does, because that's the position or the role he seeks to play in the town, but it's not official.
So, but it was the Goblin Mayor that had hired us, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. You. Okay then. So, what are you doing here? I don't see a lot. I don't see a lot of humans or hobgoblins here in Goblin Town.
Well, we were hired by the Goblin Town Mayor to investigate a recent murder.
Huh. All right. The murder does that have something to do with the monster?
Yeah, actually it does.
Oh, well, if you have anything to say or anything to help us in our investigation or help Mayor Shreve, then you can come with me and tell the other guards. I was just on my way to deliver a message to them.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So you stand up.
Oh, hang on, let me grab my
I'm guessing your
donuts
arms
real
are.
quick.
That's exactly what I was going. It's like your arms are filled with donuts.
Down my tea.
Glug, 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 glug. Okay.
Although Sarah did say in chat that dandelions caused you some stomach issues, so
I'm in
I don't know
trouble.
if we're gonna have to
Yeah.
address that later.
Gretel was
Yeah.
drinking his own version of goblin tea that's made from crushed flowers, just to be precise, because he knows about dandelions. If anybody knows about dandelions.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Maybe my half elf constitution will survive it.
Well, let's say that I shared my tea with the group.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Um. All right. So, as you walk up past the bakers, you see the butcher's hall, the butcher's guild hall there, and you can see that there is two human guards standing outside the building. You can sort of see maybe one or two more humans inside the building. There are a few goblins lingering about, but it does not seem to be doing business. No one is butchering, no one is selling meat, no one is buying meat from this building. Okay. Let's see here. Let me see. You do notice another goblin standing outside, sort of rubbing their hands, looking very worried. Okay, let me see. Almost on the verge of tears. As an
I
official.
instantly go up to the other goblin with the flower, the one who's crying.
Oh, this one right here. Okay, so she is talking with or she's standing next to some of the official, and they're talking a little bit. You hand her the flower. She sort of looks surprised, like, "Oh, thank you. And who are you?"
Hi, my name is Gretel Hudrek. A friend of the Sheep Friends and Petal Sniffers Guild. And yeah, these are my friends Aetheri and Janira. They're very nice.
Oh, that's nice to hear. I'm sorry, Grabdoll, but we're closed for right now. We're not selling anything.
That's okay, because I'm not buying.
Oh, okay. The human standing next to her sort of looks gruffly. It's like, "Sir, we don't have time for gawkers. If you have no business, please move along."
Oh, Aetheri, did you want to tell him how you killed the monster and set the place on fire?
I just want to know, are they able to repair everything, so they could get back to business? Do they need help cleaning up the damage we did? I did.
Okay. Both the goblin and the human look very, very, very surprised at you. They, there's just sort of a look of shock on them, like you did it. The 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 butcher goblin, she sort of whimpers a little bit, like no, the building is mostly fine. I think it will be repaired. Maybe. I hope so. Thank you. Maybe for your help. The human guard is just, or the human is just scowling now at all of you. It's like, wait a minute. You killed the monster? How did you kill the monster?
It
Like,
was a team effort.
how did you even know? Your team? I'm guessing this is the team here. This
That's-
Bradal,
Mhm.
Aetheri, and Genera.
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. All right then. Well then, come inside. I don't want the. This is a sensitive matter, and so waves you in, and you go into the building, into the guild hall. The female goblin sort of whispers to some of the other goblins, and seems to direct them off to do something or other, and she follows in after you.
Do we recognize the female goblin? Was she there during when we were there? Because there were a bunch of goblins that were there working.
Or is she the new guild leader?
Oh, so she may not have seen what happened. Okay.
So you go inside. There's a few goblins there, but there's also another human there. And they pull up some old rickety wooden chairs as they squeak across the wooden floor, and they all motion you to sit down. Okay. So the two humans, they introduce themselves. One is James. The other one is Mirth. Okay. And they introduce themselves as being a part of the office of the mayor of Margate Shreve. And they were sent here to take notes and investigate and see what exactly happened here. And then the female goblin is then introduced as the new guild leader. Her name is Zixie Bone Muncher. And she's actually a first cousin to the she's a first cousin to, let's see, what was his name again? Glexol. Okay, yeah. So yeah, first cousin to Glexol.
Who's Glixol
Currently,
again?
he was the monster.
Okay, he was the bar guest.
Yeah, so she's the cousin to the monster.
I'm going to assume she doesn't know that he was a bar guest, correct?
Yeah, you're gonna assume, you're not gonna ask, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, James looks rather sternly at you, like, okay. From what we've learned is that this Glexol goblin was a monster. No one knew he was a monster. Yet your group was somehow able to detect him, track him down, and confront him. we are concerned that he was not alone. So we are trying to find out if there are any other goblins that may be monsters. We cannot have monsters in our town. So can you tell us how you were able to identify this shapeshifter?
Well, so we basically relied on Gradal's uh, knowledge of goblin lore to figure out that he was a bar guest, which is, if I remember correctly, specific to kind of goblin culture, that they specifically target goblins, and I don't think that you guys per se have anything to worry about, because it really was just after the goblins.
Oh, sure. Nothing to worry about at all. Just going back for goblins.
As long as you're not a goblin.
Just because
Yeah.
it's goblins. It's so nice to know that we.
So yeah. Go ahead, finish Grandal if you like.
No, it's okay. I basically I trail off.
The humans look at you sort of blankly. However, all of the other goblins around you look really nervous. And especially Zixi. Zixi looks very nervous. No insight check. You can tell. She's kind of sweating.
Okay. Well then, come here, Zixi. Let's have a conversation.
A conversation?
Yes.
She sort of looks, her eyes sort of shift to the goblins, shifts to the humans. The humans nod at her, and then she slowly walks towards you. Okay. So she stands in front of you. She's right in front of you.
So, my understanding is that you were the cousin, correct, of the last Bone Munchers Guild leader?
Yeah. First cousin, yes.
Okay, so here's my question for you. Did you happen to notice anything strange about your cousin recently? Like, did he suddenly disappear for a while and then come back? Or was his behavior different at all?
Nothing I noticed. He was always the same as always. Came to work every day, ran the guild as well as he could. You know, we're above the board business. We do everything clean and safe, and yeah, nothing evil. And she's glancing, as she explains it, she glances over at the humans. And she further explains that he was a butcher, nothing more, nothing less. She can't think of anything that would have given that away, or anything that would have given away that he was actually a monster.
Well,
Yep.
we did discover that bar guests aren't big fans of fire. So, how do you feel about this? And so I'm going to pull out something, like a little cloth, kind of wrapped around a stick, like a small torch thing. And I'm going to go ahead and light it on fire. And kind of hold it in front of her and see how she responds to this.
That's awesome.
It's like, fire? Fire's okay. Like, what are you going to do with that?
Well, I'm just interested to know whether or not, you have some revulsion to it.
The humans lean in and like, okay. They're very interested in your interrogation now. They're like, fire, huh? What about fire? Like, what do you mean fire?
And
So that's how we
Sorry,
were
go ahead.
able to. Oh, sorry. That's how we were able to figure out that previous guild leader was a Barghest. They don't like fire, and hence why there's some fire damage to the butchery. That's kind of, our fault. But it was the only way to, get the Barghest to actually show that it was really a Barghest.
Okay. Interesting.
No,
Go ahead, Grendel.
I think I also remember you saying something that in their goblin form, the Barghest's ears are somewhat different from normal goblin ears, and that they droop a little bit more. Am I remembering that correctly?
Oh no. Okay, so that's actually that's a slight design option or design thing that I decided on, is that a more masculine like goblin body, the ears will droop, and then a more feminine goblin body, the ears will perk up.
Oh, I understand. Okay.
So yeah, so
I
if
misread.
you notice, if you actually notice on the goblin designs they do, you'll notice that. Okay.
So I want to ask.
Yeah.
I want to ask
sorry.
I want to ask the humans. Why do you think there are more monsters out there? Have there been other murders?
They sort of shrug. Well, we haven't seen any other murders. At least like the ones you saw in the other place, and the emotions over to the soapmakers guild hall. But we don't want to wait around for the next one, right? We have a clear understanding of who the murderer was, what kind of murder it was, and if we can find more of them, or we can prevent more murders. Heaven forbid that there's another goblin monster running around that decides to tear through, the rest of town.
Correction, sir. The monster actually wasn't a goblin. It was a monster that ate goblins.
Potato, okay? It's still a monster on her hands.
No.
Okay, but yes, go, Gretel.
Oh, no, I was just wondering, is there anything that I would particularly know about Barghest that would be useful in sort of negotiating this conversation with the human guards socially?
Okay, so the thing that I want to point out, because this was a bit of a conversation in the first session, is actually the amount of fire. Remember that for making candles and soap, you do need to boil the fat. So the soap makers have fires going, but the fires aren't that large. They're only enough to sort of heat the one big pot or cauldron that they have. And the fires that you set to the guild hall were actually like 5 feet by 5 feet.
That's right.
Yeah, that you sort of had realized that you had to sort of get to a bonfire kind of level amount of fire in order for the Barghest to show itself.
Maybe we should have a festival in town, like a bonfire festival, and invite everyone in. See who shows, and who doesn't.
Burning Man with goblins?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Perfect.
Let's do it. Or
Okay.
suggest for the mayor.
Okay, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna let you decide how you're gonna explain this to the guards. Now, the Zixi, the female goblin here, is sort of like still wondering, like, how long are you gonna keep that fire in my face? Can I leave now?
I'll put it out with Druidcraft.
Okay, so it's out. Okay. So the guards are sort of looking at you quizzically, like, okay. So this fire test, that means she's not a monster?
Well, no, not necessarily. We need a big fire.
Okay, and they look up at you surprised. Okay, how big of a fire?
Like a pretty decent sized bonfire. Kind of by a 5 foot by 5 foot area. I mean, you can kind of see the damage we did to the butchery, so it needs to be pretty
So they
bad.
sort of look around, and they notice the burn marks. Huh. So, like, walk us through this a little bit more. Do they have to just see it from far? Do they have to get close to it? Like, how?
It has to be close, so
All right.
yeah.
Interesting. All right. So the person that came in with you, the messenger, they motion for him to come. He whispers something in their ear, and they nod, and then they tell him, "Okay, you heard the explanation. I want you to run ahead over to the mayor right now and tell her the conversation you just heard, so that we can address this plan accordingly." They thank you for your time. They thank Zixi. They thank Genera, Theory, Gradol for their help in the investigation.
And of course,
Um,
each and every one of them gets flowers on their way out.
Perfect. They sort of again look kind of quizzically like, wow, Goblin Town gets weirder and weirder. They actually don't go south toward the human quarters. They actually go across the street and they head to the mayor's office. Okay. Zixi feels very relieved. You can see her sort of visibly relax a little bit as the humans leave. But then she looks up at you with very scared eyes. And it's just, so what's going to happen now?
Well, I say, try not to worry because you have friends here, and we'll go talk to the mayor as well.
Okay.
Find out what's going on.
Okay.
We want to help you.
Thank you. So she sits down on one of the chairs and just sort of slumps. And then she directs the goblins to close up the whole building. So they start to close all the shutters. They make sure that all of the doors are closed. And they continue to sweep up and clean up and basically completely close down the building. So you walk over. Do you try to catch up to the humans, or do you just go at your own pace?
Well, group, what do we is there anything else we want to do before going to the mayor's, or do we want to follow them?
No, when they said the mayors, are they referring to the goblin mayors or the mayor?
Oh, okay. So they never called him mayor. If you hear them refer to the mayor, they always call him Mr. Big Suckling.
Yeah, come on, right?
He's always Mr. Big Suckling. Yeah.
Humans.
If they ever refer to the mayor, it's always Margaret Shreve. It's always the woman, the human in the human quarters. Okay.
So which do they send us to?
So they themselves, the humans, don't send you anywhere. They just thanked you, and then they themselves walked across the street, over to the mayor's mansion, which is just next door.
Okay, but that's where the Goblin Mayor lives, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, let's follow them over there.
Okay.
Do we need to be sneaky about it, or
That's up to you.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, I mean, I think we can just go over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ditto.
Might be bad that we shook him down for money. It shook him down for money yesterday.
Well,
Dagmar
to be
did.
fair, that was
Dagmar.
Dagmar. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, at least Dagmar won't be with us when we go talk to him.
Okay. Oh, thank you for reminding me. There's actually a little bit something here that I need to describe. So, you come up to the mayor's mansion. The mayor's mansion is 3 stories tall. It is basically the largest building inside of Goblin Town. And you know it looks a little bit like the mayor's mansion in the human quarters. In front of the mansion, you notice several goblins. Gradal, you recognize these goblins as sheep friends. However, these are specific sheep friends. All of these sheep friends are actually riding wolves. They're on top of wolves. And next to them, they have pigs. But they're not just pigs, they're kind of like boars, like razorbacks, like wild pigs looking. They're hairy, they're bristly. They actually have tusks. They look like mean pigs. They are war pigs. Or guardian pigs, however you want to put it. This is the security for the mayor's office. Gradal, you'll also know that this is not normal. The mayor's mansion usually doesn't have these people here. Okay. So the humans walk up to them and they begin a conversation, and they tell them, like, we're representatives of the mayor's office. We're here to see Mr. Big Suckling. They pull out little badges and little like a little scroll that has the seal on it. Something to sort of distinguish them as officials. The goblins sort of like mumble and grumble, and then there's you notice on the 3rd floor, the mayor sort of peeks down from between the shutters and sort of yells, like, through the crack in the shutters, "It's okay, you can let them in," and it closes them really quickly. And they all shrug. Goblins and humans alike, and then the humans are let in. Okay, you now walk up. The goblins tell you to stop. Stop there. No one's allowed in the mayor's mansion unless they have official business. Okay, what do you do?
I feel like Gradal should, take the lead on
Okay.
this.
Also, do I recognize any of the sheep friends?
You recognize all of them. You notice that these are sort of the gruffer sheep friends, because you know that the wolves basically act as their horses, and the pigs basically act as their sheepdogs.
Gotcha.
So these ones seem to be the ones that they're the ones that are most physically protective of the flocks.
Gotcha. So I recognize them specifically.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Bob. How's it going?
Dog. No one's allowed unless they have official business. Do you have
Oh,
official
we have
business?
Yeah, we have official business. We're with the humans. We defeated the
humans-
nightmare.
Oh, you defeated the nightmare. Oh, Gradal. You did?
Well, not me.
You do
Not
nothing
me.
but pick
This one. I
flowers.
poke over to a theory.
Oh. Tall people then. Okay. All right then. Go ahead. Keep following them, and they sort of let you pass. Okay. You can hear. As you walk into the mansion, there's actually a very large. It opens up into a very, very large open hall. There are. It's at the center of it. It's actually mostly empty, but there are several chairs and benches to the side, and a podium, and like a platform and a podium up at the front of this hallway. And this is a place where goblins have their town hall meetings. The humans are sort of looking around and calling out, "Where's Mr. Big Suckling? we're here on official business. We need some help here. Okay. And you notice the goblin from yesterday, his assistant, comes up like, oh, yes, right away. And he goes and scurries up the stairs, presumably to get the mayor. A few minutes later, there's a creaking coming down the stairs, and you see the mayor of Goblin Town. He's coming down dressed as he normally is in his finest clothing. He's not walking his prize pig. He's carrying his little pig in his arms, and he is not wearing his 3 hats. He's wearing a single hat that is much larger, and it's a sort of tri-corner hat with a feather in it. He looks down at the humans like, oh, yes, humans. Okay, yes. How may I help you? Hello, we are James and Mirth. We are officials from the office of the mayor of Clark. And we have things to discuss with you about the recent incident with the monster. And so they begin to have their conversation. When you walk into the building, are you going to announce yourselves? Are you going to be quiet? Like, you're going to hide, or are you just going to jump right in? Right now, no one has noticed you.
Yeah, my instinct is to just kind of hide, kind of go quietly and just sort of listen into the conversation.
Okay. That is your
Yeah.
specialty.
Yeah.
I'm kind of leaning that direction too.
What say you, Gradall?
Gretel's approach is, shall we say, very different from Ethereal Engineera. So I'm just going to let them hide and walk up and say, "Hi, Tamorin, how you doing?"
Oh, it's you! That monstrous oaf who threatened my pigs. She's not here, right? Huh? Looks very worried and like looking over your shoulder and like looking around.
Oh no, she's fast asleep. We decided it would be much better to avoid violence, to convince her to come with us, and then we got her drunk and we passed her out. We buried her in the garden, and she is currently nowhere to be seen. And we just thought it was the best way to avoid.
Buried in the garden.
Yeah, she's over at the pedal sniffer. She's fine.
That's like at that mention of burying her, like Gradall, the humans are here. Be careful what business you're up to in front of them. The human sort of go ahead.
Oh, is there like a window or that I could, or a doorway that I could like get near to listen to what the humans are saying?
So right now they are standing. They're literally standing in the middle of this this hall, large meeting hall.
Okay.
If you're gonna hide, you would have to just be at the front, like behind the coat rack or something like that.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna describe something. I don't know if you've read my notes on the goblin folklore. So for a theory engineer, if you'd like, you can stand toward the front of the hall. You're gonna stand and hide behind the coat rack. However, there are also a few goblin statues there. At least they look like statues. And they look very, very convincingly like goblins. You can hide behind those.
Okay.
Okay. So since we haven't made any rolls yet, why don't you two make some stealth checks? Make a stealth roll. Okay, theory. Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Wow, Janira. Janira, where did you go? Okay,
I know.
so
Disappeared.
actually, wait, I can't remember, Janira. Are you what kind of monk are you? You're not the shadow monk, are you?
Yeah, I am. The white
Okay, well
shadow.
there you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
that explains it. That's why I got out stealth.
Just sort of disappears into the shadows. Like, what? Where'd she go? Um, so a theory you find a sort of comfortable spot. No one seems to notice you. They're too focused on Gradal. The humans look down at Gradal at his mention of burying Dagmar. They sort of sigh, their shoulders sag, and like, okay, Mr. Big Suckling. Now, Gradal and his associates, they sort of look over their shoulder, kind of surprised, like, where'd they go? Well, okay, I guess it's just Gradal. All right, well, Gradal and his other people who helped him defeat the monster helped explain the way monsters. And we would like your cooperation and your help and assistance in making sure that the whole city of Clark stays safe. And the mayor sort of nods in agreement, like, yes, of course, anything to keep our city safe. Whatever you'd like, just name it. The two humans like look at each other and nod, and they say, "Well, Mayor, we are going to need to build a fire, a large fire, a bonfire. And apparently this fire, if a goblin is exposed to it, then that goblin will transform into the monster. And this is a way of helping us find him. So what we're asking is that we build the bonfire here in somewhere in the neighborhood, and we are going to pass every single goblin through it to make sure that none of them are monsters." The mayor kind of looks up in surprise, like, you're like kind of bewildered, like, you're going to put all of the goblins through the giant fire? He's very sort of flabbergasted at what this plan is. And Mirth says, yes, this is the plan.
If I might interject, as goblins, just like humans, we are flammable. So I would suggest that the Barghest will reveal itself if it's near the fire, not in the fire. Prepositions are important.
Yeah, yes, Mr. Gradal, we understand that's important, but we want to make sure. We want to get the goblins as close as possible to the fire. So Mirth and I have discussed this a little bit in the bit of time that that you informed us of this important bit of information, and I think what we're going to do is to build some sort of bonfire and then a platform or bridge that goes over the fire, and then the goblins will have to walk along the bridge. And if they turn into the monsters, they'll be surrounded by fire, and we can drop them into the fire. Sounds like a great plan. Both the humans sort of nod in agreement. Yes, that's a good plan. The mayor sort of clutches his pig and is like, will the pigs also have to go through this fire? Like, the humans sort of look puzzled at him and like, no, I mean, the pig's fine. It's fine. So Mr. Big Suckling, are you gonna help us or not? He sort of gulps and is kind of like not sure what to say.
Might I suggest consulting with your superiors before creating a giant bonfire in in a major part of the city that you serve?
Major part of the city. One of them sort of like chuckles a little bit. The other one like elbows him really hard in the ribs. Well, look, we'll just do it near the river, okay? That way we can contain it, and we'll have a good source of fire or of water just in case it gets out of hand. I mean, we could do this right on the port. We could do this right out on the pier, right? In fact, I know that this part of town, that your pier is made out of stones. It's not going to burn. So we'll just march every goblin right over the fire. We'll check every one of them, making sure it's safe. It'll be great. It'll be over. Don't worry. Just we just want to make sure that everything is safe.
So I have a question, but out
Go.
of character.
Go for it.
I can't remember from last time if it was specified that a bar guest can only take the form of a goblin, or can a bar guest take on the form of anything?
So the bar guest. We'll just assume that you've talked with Gradal about this and he's explained everything.
Okay.
The bar guest is a very specific boogeyman that only goblins seem to have. Elves don't have any sort of knowledge of bar guests. Humans don't. Hobgoblins don't. Orcs don't. Dwarves don't. Nobody seems to know what a bar guest is except for goblins. Goblins know that they shapeshift, and they know that they, at least according to the stories, they do shapeshift into goblins. It's possible that they shapeshift into something else, but they've never heard of it. That's not really part of the stories.
Okay.
So if I might interject for just a moment, your plan is to keep the city safe as a whole, right?
Yes.
Yes, including Goblin Town? Because, truth be told, this kind of monster only attacks goblins.
So, what are you suggesting?
Well, perhaps you can leave the situation to us here in Goblin Town to solve on our own.
What assurance is that it's only going to be here in Goblin Town? That it's not gonna like spread, or what assurances do we have that this monster's not gonna run amok in other places? If there are other monsters.
Do I know enough about Barghest to know that they're specifically target goblins in service of Maglubiet?
Oh, well, okay. What's your Arcana? I'm trying to remember. Let me pull that up. Let's see. I'll just
If
take
you want me to do an Arcana check, I will, but I'll want to cast guidance on myself before I do.
Yeah, I noticed you don't have Arcana proficiency. Sure, go ahead. Go ahead, do guidance. And roll an Arcana check. So if you want to do the guidance, just do the /roll 1d4 on the roll 20 chat.
Okay, so I'm on the roll 20 chat. So I just hit Arcana and then I hit /2d4.
So go ahead and do the d4, or sorry, the d20, the Arcana check first.
Okay.
And then what's going to happen is you can. Oh, actually, you. If you want, you can. If you notice in roll 20, it has an option. The little toolbar on the left, there's actually a die. The second to the last icon is a die 20, and you can take that and you can pick the die that you want to roll, and you just need a die 4.
Okay. And just add d4. So yeah, 6 + 1. That didn't help me very much at all.
Okay. So a 7.
Yeah. I don't know shit.
So you do know that bar guests love to eat goblins. That's all the stories. That is basically a bar guest's purpose in life, is to eat, savor, and enjoy goblins.
Okay. So I will communicate this specifically to the guards.
The guards sort of give a shrug. I'm like, huh, okay, that's all right. So then they look at each other, and then they look at the mayor, and they're like, okay, mayor, we're going to give you some time. We'll give you a week. Or well, we'll talk with we'll talk with Mayor Shreve to make sure, but I guess we'll give you a week. Once, if you can get a plan rolling and secure Goblin Town with some sort of plan, then we'll let you handle it. But if you can't, then we'll have to step in because we're still not quite sure what this is. So the mayor sort of tips his hat, and the humans then James and Mirth then show themselves out. Thank you for your cooperation, and then they leave. As they pass through the door, they look over and they see Janera and Aetheri hiding behind the coat rack and the goblin statues.
They saw us.
I mean, unless you want to hide. Do you want to hide?
No, it's fine.
No, it's fine. Just kind of nod.
they nod back quizzically and they're like, whatever, and then they walk out.
And I don't pickpocket them as much as I wanted to. As we're walking by.
My assumption is Janera, while you were behind the coat rack, you were eating donuts, right? Or
Yes. So I
Okay.
just devoured all of them.
Alrighty.
Just scarfed them down.
Okay. Nom, 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 nom. Okay, so the mayor of Goblin Town turns to you and it's like, well, sort of slumps down to the ground. He actually sits on the ground with his pig, just sort of stroking the pig and scratching the pig behind the ears. And like looks up at you, Gradal. And it's like, okay, so what do we do now?
So I still have one of my small buns, and I go and give it to the pig.
Um.
So I step out to go talk to the mayor with Gretel.
Okay. Once he sees you,
Uh-oh.
he's sort of expecting Dagmar. He's like, what? Like he stands up and like, wait, is that she devil here? Like, oh.
No. She's not. She's sound asleep at the pedal sifters.
Oh, okay.
So I kneel down and give a bun to the pig.
Oh, thank you. It is time for Dainty Foot's second breakfast. Thank you.
You're welcome. Poor little guy.
Okay, and then the pig begins to munch on the bun. Janera, are you gonna stay hiding behind the coat rack or?
No, I guess I'll come out.
Okay.
Kind of reassuring the mayor that it's just us. Dagmar's not here.
Okay. All right. Well,
We overheard the plan, and I mean, I don't know what those humans are thinking, asking people to walk through fire. We're not. We're here to help you.
well, thank you. So that's the thing, though. We have to make sure that everyone's not a monster now, right? We have to sort of tell them or show the humans and tell Goody Shreve that everything's okay here. Okay. So the mayor turns to you then, like, okay, well, you heard it. We have a week. We either need to do their plan or something like it in order to reassure them that no one here is a monster, or we need to find some other way to test for monsterhood.
Hmm.
Do you have any plans? I don't know anything about monsters. All I know is about, this. Like, waves at the hall and points at his hat and points at the pig and like, I'm not really cut out for monsters.
Well, we know they like to eat goblins, and they're afraid of fire. So, I mean, we could set out like a goblin bait trap, with like a fake goblin, and see if we could lure them out. Or we could have a bonfire, but then we have to have everyone come to town, or to the.
Well,
Mm.
see,
Then we have to get everyone to the bonfire somehow.
maybe if we use it in the guise of it actually being some type of celebration, like, I don't know, do you guys have anything locally that, you guys could be celebrating right now?
Okay. So this is, you know what? Let's think. We do have our summer festival coming up. Okay. Let's see. Let's pull up my notes. So there's a summer festival. Our okay. Okay. So the mayor looks up at Etheria and Gennaro and it's like, well, maybe you don't know this, but we do have a summer festival. Everybody in Goblin Town is invited, and we all have a party at the temple grounds.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. So you do notice. So I'm showing here on the map. It's actually across the street from the Pedal Sniffers. There's a temple area. Okay. The mayor's gonna explain that the festival, that they could basically do anything at the festival that is largely just a big party. People bring food, people play music, people dance, and he emphasizes that everybody in Goblin Town is invited. Everybody. He looks past you over your shoulder. Well, actually, no, past your knee, I guess, or past your waist. And you see his gaze sort of land on the goblin statues at the doorway of this town hall area. So he sort of waves at the statues like, yeah, Bin, you're invited too. Waves and then calls out to the statue, calls it Bin.
Do the statues move or say anything?
No,
Okay.
they're statues. You can go investigate the statues if you'd like.
Would I know who Bin is?
You might not remember who Bin is, but you know what Bin is. Okay, so this is gonna be the slight morbid thing. Okay, so this is gonna be this. Everybody who's actually listening to this right now hasn't read the notes yet. So for Gradle knows this because he's a goblin. That and this is actually part of D&D lore. If you open up the players, no, I think it's in Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Mm-hmm.
They have this description. Actually, no, it's in the Monster Manual. The major goblin god is Maglubiet. He is such a terrifying god that he controls their lives when they're alive and when they're dead. That when a goblin dies, he collects their soul and they are conscripted into his army in the afterlife to wage war on the other gods across the plains. The goblins of Goblin Town have sort of moved away from those beliefs, and they focus more on religion and ritual that centers on the other gods, other goblin gods, and Maglubia has become something of a boogeyman. So one of the things they do to try to keep him off their backs, to keep him sort of guessing, is they try to trick him into thinking that goblins don't die. So what happens is a goblin will make some sort of replica, some sort of dummy, some sort of effigy of themselves. And then that goblin dummy will stand in for that goblin for so many years, as long as the family takes care of it. So if you know anything about the way a lot of cultures have like photographs or like funerary altars, like family altars, and they keep a picture, it's kind of like that, except that it's like a goblin thing, like a full body statue. Well, if they're richer, it's like a statue. If they're poorer, then it's literally a straw dummy in goblin clothes. So Gradle will know that those statues, that Bin would have been some sort of relative of the mayor, and that's the statue representing Bin. And that what the festival is that everybody brings out the representations of dead family members and basically has a party with them. And it's a way of sort of tricking Maglubia to say like, hey, see these goblins? They're not dead yet. You can't conscript them into your weird ghost army. They're still alive.
Okay.
Given that information, would I be concerned about the fate of the soul of the leader of the Soft Hands Guild?
That's actually a really scary question to answer. You don't know what happened to it. Now, the family, the Bone Munchers, probably have some sort of representation. Or sorry, no, the Soft Hands. The Soft Hands probably have some sort of representation of the victim. If they don't, they have it by now. Because the death was so sudden, they might not have had it ready yet, but they'll get it ready now. That's for the Soft Hands, the Soap Makers, the initial victim. For the monster that was part of the Bone Munchers, you don't know. The Bone Munchers haven't said exactly what they're going to be doing about him.
Okay. Well, so this festival, everyone's gonna bring their family item,
Yes.
or
Yes.
replica. And then what do they do with it? It's just they gather up and they celebrate them and then take them back.
Yeah, that's basically it. So,
Yeah.
they'll sit out large banquet tables, and then it'll be basically like every other chair will be a living goblin, and
Okay.
filling in between would be dead goblins, basically.
So everyone coming to
so
this
they'll
festival. Go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
So everyone coming to this festival will be expecting the same thing.
More or less.
Banquet.
They'll dress them up, they'll dance with them. By dance with them, I kind of think of that scene in Home Alone where he puts up all the silhouettes and the cutouts, dancing to
yeah.
Christmas music.
Gotcha.
So
Now, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so
No, you go.
so if a big wooden statue of a goblin showed up, it would look like somebody brought that as a representation of a family member.
Yes.
No one
Yes.
would be suspicious of a big flammable type of structure in the middle of the festival. We could get the tree carver to carve one.
They have never thought of setting their family members on fire, because that doesn't really make sense in that
Well,
sense.
no, but no one would know that. We don't want anyone to know there's going to be a bonfire because we want them all
Right.
there. They'll just see this representation, a wooden representation of a goblin or something, and they'll just think it's part of the festival until we light it on fire.
I don't think it's necessary for it to make it look like a goblin. It just needs to be like a big bonfire. Because the other thing is, if you make it look like a giant statue of a goblin that's on fire, that will look like Maglubiet. Like that's his image.
Oh,
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah.
but we don't
So-
want it to look like a bonfire because if the bar guest walks in and sees a potential bonfire, he's going to leave, or she or it,
Okay.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we wanted like something that they're not going to, that we could gather everyone around and then surprise them by lighting it.
Okay, so I'm gonna open up this table. I'm just gonna assume that the mayor and Gradal explain all of this to you. So Etheria and Genera, you're in full knowledge of this part of goblin culture here. So I want Gradal, Etheria, and Genera to go ahead and discuss your plan. How you're gonna build a bonfire, how you're gonna trick any possible bar guests to go by the fire, and any sort of safety measures.
Something that I was thinking of, there's sort of looking at the map, there's sort of an open area in between the Bagriviak temple, the petal sniffers, and the footbinders, where naturally a celebration might take place, but it's a fairly open area. Am I correct in thinking that?
Well, so generally, if there's an empty space, I just consider that like homes and shacks and things like that. These are just the major things.
Gotcha. 'Cause-
General.
I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
go ahead. Well, I was just thinking that, a lot of the summer festival is about the effigies of dead goblins to keep up the charade they're still alive, so they're not in Maglubiet's army. So basically, the summer festival is sort of like a giant FU to Maglubiet. So could there be a situation where we do create a bonfire, but then each goblin takes an effigy of Maglubiet and throws it in the fire to destroy it? And we keep an eye and see who doesn't throw their effigy in the fire.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Sort of a burning Maglubiet in effigy kind of thing, where everybody takes their own effigy of Maglubiet and throws it in the fire, and anybody who either won't get close enough to the fire or is too dedicated to Maglubiet to throw an effigy in has to be the bar guest.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I mean the mayor is like,
Mhm.
that's an interesting idea. I never thought of that. Uh, I guess we could do that. Now the other thing I think we need to prepare. Now this is the mayor talking. I think we also need to prepare a roll call list. I need to take a census of all the goblins here in Goblin Town to make sure that we check off the list. So he waves over, and the assistant comes over and explains to him like, okay, I need paper, books, names of every single goblin in Goblin Town, or anywhere in Clark City for that matter. We need everybody, every name, and we're gonna check it twice. And so the assistant runs off to get that.
Yeah. I think the important thing is that if there's a giant bonfire, that we're in charge of it, because I don't know if you noticed, but the humans seemed a wee bit racist.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want those guys over here at all. We
Yeah,
want to
no.
be able to handle this ourselves. Keep
Yeah,
them
they
out.
were kind of douchebags, weren't they?
Yeah.
Totally. Now you know why I fled my village and came here.
I had never thought that Gradal would have such language, but okay.
No, that's entirely me. That's not Gretel. That's entirely my fault.
Okay.
It's late on a Saturday, and I have a tenure track narrative due at the end of this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
So
Good luck.
yeah, I'm ready for. Yeah, I was ready to let loose and swear a little bit.
Awesome. You picked the right place.
Yeah.
Um, So you also talked about like whatever the plan, the safety plan. So we need like people staged at the doors to catch them if they run, right? Like guards.
So
Once we do
so,
this.
so the other thing about the temple is now again, normally for goblins, the way they are in like the monster manual and stuff is that they're supposed to be, that they often form part of these armies that goblins, hobgoblins, bugbears will get together and they form an army, and then whatever structures they make are supposed to be mobile as they move along.
Ooh.
So the Bagrivek temple itself gets disassembled and reassembled, sort of replicating that ritual. They even though they're not really doing army stuff anymore, they're still maintaining that gesture, that ritual that they're doing. So the temple gets disassembled and reassembled, so there are no permanent walls. There are buildings and there are structures that they build every year, but it doesn't have, except for the shape that you see on the map, it doesn't have very clear boundaries. So if you're gonna build some sort of fence or walls, you're gonna have to arrange that as well and have guards at those gates.
Now,
Well, we won't be able to have goblins as guards, so
Yeah.
maybe we should enlist the help of some, like, hobgoblins, maybe?
Do that.
Mm-hmm.
I had
Yeah,
a little bit of a scary thought.
Okay.
Do other goblinoids such as barghests and hobgoblins have their own versions of barghests? So would we,
Janier would know this is no. Hobgoblins have never heard of this. This isn't something that's This is not something. Um. This is not something that really scares or is heard of among hobgoblins or bugbears.
thank you.
Okay. So if you'd like, you can direct some of the goblins to rebuild the temple in such a way as to funnel people in or direct and control traffic. That's possible.
Okay, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah.
And we could have Dagmar on the outside as a guard.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down. All right.
The bouncer.
Yeah.
Just gotta have to make sure she stays away from the mayor.
Right?
Oh.
and the fire boilers.
Any mention of Dagmar makes the mayor sweat, and he wonders if he should have asked for more guards at the door. And so you realize that all of those sheep friend guards on the wolves and with their war pigs, those are supposed to drive off Dagmar if she had come to the door.
I'd hate to say that I don't think it would be very effective, but you know, it's the thought that counts.
Okay.
I'm liking this plan a lot.
So
Famous last words in D&D.
Right?
Yeah,
okay. So the mayor's going to go over with you again. That he's going to go over town records, make sure he has a census as good as he can. He's going to do it as well as he can, as thorough as he can. You're going to have goblins rebuild part of the temple in a specific design to funnel people through. You're going to need a spot for the bonfire, and you're going to have some. You're going to need to hire some of the hobgoblin guards. That's not going to be that hard. Okay. Okay, I think that's it. Do you have any other questions?
When is this gonna be? When is the festival?
Okay.
Is it this week?
The festival was actually scheduled for a little bit later, but the mayor explains that he could move it up.
Okay.
It's not. It'll be a little bit of work, but if he's taking a census and knocking on everybody's door,
hmm
he can tell them then that that's what they're gonna do. Because this is gonna take so much work, it will take the week. So whatever you accomplish at this festival at the end of the week, that'll be what you accomplish. If you fail to do it properly, then time will have run out, and then the humans will step in to finish the work.
Okay.
So let's not screw this up, guys.
No.
Is there anything else in the meanwhile that we can do to assist in this, or any other matters that require our attention?
So
Basically, I'm just fishing for more work, because I think it'll be a really boring D&D session. If we
yeah.
planning doing
Okay.
party planning.
Honestly, I had a couple different options for you, and I hadn't quite planned for you to do this one, but this is more or less within parameters. It's not. I'm not that surprised. Okay. Okay. I'm also glad that I wrote a ton of notes. So I'm like, oh, I can use that one.
Because we'd have a week to try to get more information and find the bar guest before the festival.
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be hard to do, but
So the mayor is in like, okay then. If you'd like, I will organize everything for you. I will talk to. Let me see. I'll talk to the tree carvers and the pipe polishers and the color spillers and the crush foots, and round rollers to prepare the temple area for the party. And of course, I'll get the grain grinders, the fire boilers. Let me see. I'll get and the bone munchers. Ooh, the bone munchers. Ugh, I don't know about the bone munchers. Well, the grain grinders and the fire boilers, I'll get them working on the food, and I'll have my assistant make sure that we talk to everybody in town to make sure that they come. So I guess you can leave that work to me. But I really don't. But if you have a special design for the temple, you'll need to tell me. Otherwise, I need you to make sure there are no more monsters and no more murders in this town. Because if that happens, then the humans are not going to wait any longer. So, heavens, a bar guest in my town. Who knows what'll happen next? A Sasquatch or a pterodactyl will swoop down and get my prize pig.
oh, oh my gosh.
One more thing. He looks at you nervously, and he's like, "You're not going to ask for any more money, are you? Because last time you asked for 100 gold pieces, and it took me a little bit of a hustle to get that in such short notice."
I cannot speak for my fellows, but I'm fine without additional funds, as I would consider this part of the additional job. My one request would be, it ain't a party if you're not doing fried dough. So definitely talk about the grain grinders about that.
Oh, donuts, of course. Okay.
No, I'm good with that.
Right.
you paid us well, and I agree with Gradal.
Yeah,
This will
Okay.
be
I agree
part of
too.
our mission, and we'll talk to Dagmar. Don't worry about Dagmar.
Okay. All right then. Um. So the mayor goes off, hustles off, sort of tightens down the his hat. It's like, "Come along, Daintyfoot, we have a job to do," and then hustles off and begins to bark orders at his assistant and any clerks in the back room. Okay. You are now free to go. Um. You leave as you leave the town hall. You go out the door, and you have one last look at the statues at the door. If you'd like, you can investigate them, or you can just keep walking.
I think maybe we should investigate them.
Yeah, that works.
Okay. Everybody, you may investigate. Roll investigation check.
Is there anybody here who has particularly high
Oh
investigation?
man.
Because
I'm
I can
clearly
cast,
not.
I can cast
I
guidance.
do. I have
already rolled, so-
investigation.
A theory guidance for
Yeah.
a theory. So add a
Okay.
D4 to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, well, a 1.
Okay. So for Genera, well, um,
Well, it'd be
Ah.
guidance just for a theory because I can only do it on one person.
Oh, okay.
Well, if let me see. Guidance is actually a cantrip, and actually I use that as a character in another game, and I do it on everything.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking because it's a cantrip, so why not?
Yeah. Yeah, you can go ahead and do it because it just takes a minute. I mean, there's nothing tricky about them. So for Etheria and Gradal, oh, poor Genera. Okay, so I'll keep that guidance roll for Genera. That's a 7. Okay. For you for Genera, so specifically for Genera, these statues are incredibly lifelike. You swear you're looking at a goblin. For Aetheri and Gradal, you realize they are goblins, and that that the mayor's family not only didn't have a goblin statue, but they had their relatives mummified. They're sort of mummified and then like sealed over with like a glue.
Wow.
Cool.
And Gradal, you know this is the most expensive thing to do, and only the richest goblins do this.
Yeah, and being a druid from the Circle of the Death Bloom, I'm not particularly happy about it because they're not being returned to the earth where they should be.
You can have this conversation with the mayor if you like later.
No. But I do want to bring up to Aetheri and Genera that we might actually be able to save ourselves and the mayor some effort. Something I remember from last time is that the Barghests seem to enjoy jumping from roof to roof. So if we can do a little reconnaissance on some of the roofs around town, maybe there's a possibility that we might find additional Barghest tracks and be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to track it down without the need for the bonfire festival.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
At least and confirm if there's more than one. I don't know if I'll be able to tell that or not.
Yeah,
But
because I can just wild shape into an owl and just
yeah,
fly over and do recon. And Aetheri seems to be built for both of you. Actually, seem to be built for jumping up on roofs and skulking and sneaking.
Yeah.
yeah, we can climb and
They're
look
both
for footprints.
they're both taller than most goblins, and since goblin structures are built for goblins, it's not that hard for them to step up onto the roof. Okay.
You gonna leave flowers in the statues on the way out?
Of course, I shouldn't have to say it by this.
It's gotta be on brand.
Those poor statues. Okay.
I, I personally, I'm kind of proud of how much effort I put into this sort of thing, but I'm like, I kind of really, really thought this like way too much. Anyways,
No, that's awesome.
so unless you have something specific, we'll just do. We'll sort of do this accelerated. We're not going to do this day by day. So I'm going to lay out a few options for you. You're gonna investigate the rooftops. That's fine. What I would also like to ask is, you can. Let's just pick out 5 or 6. We'll pick out 5 or 6. You can pick 5 or 6 people to talk to, and you can talk to basically anybody in Goblin Town or anybody in the city of Clark or anything. And we'll just count that as sort of the 5 or 6 days that you're using up to investigate this.
Okay.
So all of you can now do investigation checks. Gradal is going to be the only person that's going to be able to do guidance. Well, I'm assuming that you do it separately, that each of you sort of starts to go from roof to roof to roof to roof, and Gradal flies around. If that case, then Gradal doesn't have the ability to keep touching you again and again.
Yeah.
But if you want to do it more specifically together, hand in hand, then you can do guidance on each of them each time for an investigation check.
Yeah, why don't we do guidance then?
Okay then. So I assume for the rest of the day, you are basically going together, building to building, and investigating. So everybody roll investigation checks and roll a d4 as guidance.
Oh, I think I saw something.
Yeah.
Which may be nothing, but
23. Here we got a 23. Nice.
Yeah, theory is 23, Gradal is 14, and then Genera is 11. Okay. So Gradal and Genera, you don't really notice anything. There don't seem to be any other tracks on any of the other buildings. The only tracks that you seem to find are the ones on top of the Butchers Guild and the Soapmakers Guild. For a theory, just give me a moment to think to this. You do notice signs of people, or you see signs of something or someone sneaking around, but they're not claw marks. There are no claw marks of any kind. It just seems to be sort of like people. Like you might you see some maybe foot stains, but they're all like goblin size. There's no sort of transformation. You can follow some of the tracks. They sort of climb up and down the buildings. They don't. None of the tracks seem to magically fly from building to building.
okay, and they're not the claw marks that we saw before. So there's something else sneaking around town.
Yeah. But as far as you can tell, no monsters. You right now, after your investigation, no monsters.
Okay.
So we'll zoom out a little bit. And as you're doing your investigations, you see some of the goblins coming in from different parts of the town, and I don't know if we can. Let's see. Let me pull up some of the goblins that are going to be working here. So these are... Okay, so that's one picture. This is the lumberjacks, or the tree carvers. They're carpenters. For them, they all have axes and hatches and things like that. What makes them sort of special is they all wear wooden clogs. And you can see the little clogs have little symbols carved in and stuff like that. You also have the some plumbers, and they come in and start to dig. And most of them have a little trinket, like a little metal trinket in the shape of some sort of animal. Okay, you have the masons. This is just an excuse to show off all my drawings. You have the masons come in.
So cool.
And again, they come in with chisels and hammers, pickaxes. And you notice that they tend to have tattoos. They have like these little geometric symbols of tattoos on their arms, their shoulders, their ears. Let me see. You also notice some of the metalsmiths come in to, delivering nails and things. They tend to have some sort of nose piercing, either rings or chains coming out of their noses. And I think that will be it. There might be some people delivering barrels and things like that. In which case it's going to be one of the wheelwrights. So not all of them have sort of this gimmick. Just the
Really
leader.
awesome.
Yeah. Just the leader has that gimmick on his leg. But otherwise they tend to have sort of hoops around them. They're either carrying hoops like around their necks or on their arms, like hula hoops. Since they're the ones making all the wheels and barrels. Okay. All right. And so you see them get to work and start to transform the temple area. Okay, and you notice that the mayor is sort of directing them to work hard and get it in perfect shape for the plan. Okay, so now I'm going to give you, so the next couple of days are just going to be accelerated. You can pick 5 or 6 people to interview, to either find information on the bar guest, find information on the humans, or the guards, or whatever preparation you'd like. And for Dagmar, now Dagmar's not gonna Dagmar can't sleep through the whole thing, but we'll just assume that Dagmar spends an inordinate amount of time at the fire boilers drinking. Yeah, we'll leave that at that.
Okay.
And you I'll okay. If you happen to talk back to I think it's Cheek from the Pedal Sniffers. If you talk back to her, or if you notice back at the garden, you'll notice that there were several flowers sort of stamped down in anger. But otherwise, you just notice Dagmar mostly drinking at the fire boilers, unless you need her help. Okay.
Right. So we can choose some people around town to interview.
Yeah. So you can use any of the notes that I posted in the Discord server, or you can just ask me.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking about, because I'm close to Cheek, Pedal
Mhm.
Sniffer.
Yeah.
I was thinking about asking about his relationship to Farmer Brown.
Ooh, okay. So I got to pull up my notes then. Okay. Let me see here. Okay.
Oh, and another
Okay.
question.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be the goblins in Goblin Town? What about the goblins that are in the refugee camps?
That's up to you. Like you're gonna have to. I mean, that's part of the plan. You're gonna have to like once you present your findings to the humans, you're gonna have to be as thorough as possible. Like that's basically what this is gonna be. You're gonna have to prove to them that Goblin Town is safe. If you include the refugees in the refugee camp out at the outer end, then that'll help them. Because right, like at the moment, there's no room. So okay, let me put this: the humans and the people of the city can use the excuse that there's no room, or they can use the excuse that they're not safe. You know, they can use any excuse that they have to control how many people stay within the city limits. If you test them, then that gives them one less excuse. You know.
So the mayor will invite them to the festival as well, right?
Honestly, he wouldn't have thought of that. Like, because that camp is sort of. Oh, wait, no, sorry. You know what? You're right. No, he would actually think about this because he actually has to talk to someone. He actually has a liaison in another little tent office at the camps out there.
Yeah, that's
So
it.
Weeks, right?
Yeah, Zilterd Breeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you said? Something like that.
Well, when I want to have a little bit of fun, I give the goblin or a hobgoblin a completely unpronounceable name. So you can pronounce it however you like. Let me see now. Yes, you'll the person who's running it at the outer camps, that would be Zelix Turd. Zelix Riggs.
Okay. Felix Turd.
Okay. So yeah, they're out there. Yeah. So okay, so for the person that you're going to interview, so the first person you're going to interview is Cheek, right?
Well, now
That's
that I'm
a
at
Gradle.
refugee camps, I'm thinking that maybe Zielstud's the person to talk to instead of Cheek. I don't know. What
Okay.
do Ethereum Engineer think?
I mean, we're gonna talk to like 5 or 6 people, right? So,
Yeah.
let's. Do you want to start with the? Oh, I guess it doesn't matter really, huh? Are we gonna? We're gonna go together, right? We're not like dividing up.
Oh no, I'd say
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's.
Yeah, you're going to go together because this is basically one person per day. Go ahead, go.
Should we start at the outer refugee camps though?
I think that's a great idea. Get everybody in the outer refugee camps on board first.
Okay.
All right, that works.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'll just draw that. All right. So you make a trip out to here. Okay. So you have to walk along the roads through the farm country, and you notice vast rolling fields and the farmers and their wooden houses. You see the mayor of Goblin Town's large pig farm, and you can see that he has several pens of different breeds of pigs. Some with spots, some with stripes. Some with ears that are up, some that are floppy ears. All sorts of pigs. You notice orchards and farmers working, and you make your way all the way out to the camps. Okay. So the camps are these sort of scattered tents and like sort of ramshackle buildings. Nothing here is really meant to be permanent, but it looks like some people have been here for a while. you know, under the mayor's direction to sort of go to the center of the camp, and at the center of the camp there is this clearing, and the clearing is sort of pressed down, beat down dirt from repeated footsteps of goblins and the meetings and the deliveries. And there's a little tent there, and the tent has a little sign that says office of the mayor of Goblin Town. It's just a simple tent, and there's a bunch of crates and barrels around, and you notice a large, not fat but certainly well-fed orange cat there. Sort of stands out a little bit.
I go walk over to the cat and pull out some beef jerky and give him some.
The cat is as tame as can be. The cat doesn't run away. In fact, the cat expects you to feed it.
All right, I scratch its little head and boop its nose.
It sort of does its thing where it motions its head to be scratched more, and then it relishes sort of the beef jerky you give it.
Cool.
Upon the meow, a goblin sort of comes out of the tent and say, "Oh, I see you've made friends with Orangey. Orangey loves making friends. I am the manager of this camp. I'm Zelix Viegs. How may I help you?"
Well, the mayor this year is instituting a new aspect to the summer festival at the temple, and we're here to make sure everything goes smoothly. Specifically, we want all the goblins to participate, and we want everyone to throw an effigy of Maglubiet into the fire as part of our ritual of rejecting Maglubiet and attempting to fool him as part of our festival.
So it's like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I got a message yesterday. I got a little letter saying that there would be a few changes to the festival this year. Really interesting. But I haven't told anyone here at the camp. Would you like to make the announcement? I mean, your friends here are very tall. I'm sure they have very big voices to go with their big bodies. So he goes on to explain also that that he enjoys the festival every year, but the camps aren't old enough for the current people staying here, living here. They haven't heard about the festival. They don't know what it is. All the goblins here are from outside of the city, and they're not familiar with some of these local traditions.
Do you think they'll all come to the festival? They'll all be able to do that? Because it's really important. We'd really like to have everyone there, full participation.
I think that would be a wonderful thing to lift their spirits. I mean, as you can see, there's not a lot to look forward, or you're sort of looking around. But they don't have family to invite to the party, and I don't know about what food that they have to contribute. So this is this an official invitation from the mayor?
Yes, I think
Yes,
didn't.
it is.
Mhm.
Okay, so I guess the mayor's gonna have to spend a little bit of extra money. Okay.
Yeah.
Go for it. Now, you're gonna have to. So he motions you, brings you to the sort of the meeting area. It's a cleared out area. Just packed dirt, and a couple of crates and empty barrels, a little bit of trash sort of circling it. And goblins are milling about. You do notice like a few humans, a handful of humans sort of scattered among them. Okay. How are you going to make the announcement?
Well, I think there are two possible ways we could do it. We could either simply stand up and make the announcement as loudly as possible, or maybe we could go around and just throughout the camp and sort of announce it on a smaller scale.
Zelix Church, like, oh, excuse me, I can do this if you want to get everybody. So he climbs up onto this very precarious pile of crates and boxes, and you can see it sort of tip and creak as it gets to the top of it. He pulls out this horn, like a ram's horn sort of thing, and like takes the deepest goblin breath he can. And blows really hard into it. And so people sort of prick up their ears and they begin to march or come toward the clearing. And some of them actually are sort of running. But as they come to the clearing, they're a little bit surprised. And there's sort of whispers like, where is it? Where's the supplies? And Felix started explains like, sorry. No supplies right now, but these fine people have an important announcement to make. Go, Bradall. Give them the good news.
Sorry, I muted myself there for a second. I think, can I cast guidance on myself, maybe for a persuasion check, just to make myself as...
Do it.
Yeah. So, come one, come all. This summer festival in Goblin Town in the city of Clarg. Come with us to celebrate the deception of Maglubiet in honor of the great Bargriviek. Sorry, my pronunciation is horrid.
Go with it. It's hard anyway.
That was very good.
So, come one, come all. There will be, and based on what the mayor told us before, there will be food, there will be drink, there will be music. Every goblin should attend.
Okay, so roll a persuasion check.
Oh, good lord. Okay. And I am totally going to guidance myself. Okay, not great. I'll add the D. Definitely adding the D4 to that. 13.
Okay. All right. So most of the people there, most of the goblins are sort of excited because of the idea of actually going into town, not having to stay out here at these camps, to be invited to the party and to have food and drink. That sounds exciting to them. They really like the invitation. A few of the handful of humans like raise their hand, like, are we invited too? You said goblins.
It was my understanding there was mostly goblins in the outer refugee camps, and the humans and dwarves are in the inner refugee camps.
That's mostly true. There's just like a handful of humans. You're talking like 3 or 4. They sort of stick out among the crowd.
Oh, if it's 3 or 4, then they're definitely invited.
Okay. Like, well, okay. Never had goblin food before.
Wait till you
Nothing
try
weird,
the
is
donuts.
it? It's not like.
Wait till you try the donuts.
Oh, okay, good.
Nice.
It's not like pterodactyl meat or anything like that, is it? Okay.
Special occasions.
Well, it beats whatever it is here. Now, most of the goblins are excited, but there are a handful that are sort of nervous. You said Maglubiet. Like, they ask you about that. Like, what do you mean? Remember that for most of them, they know Bagriviak, but they don't really do anything with them. Everything they do is sort of in relationship to Maglubiet, Old Meanie. That's going to be my goblin name from Old Meanie. They're very sort of puzzled and worried about what that means for them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can take the extra time to explain the tradition.
Okay then. Of course, you're gonna have to sort of do some winks and nods and whispers, because if you say out loud that a bunch of the goblins that are attending are actually dead, that gives away the game.
Yeah. Let's see. Any advice as to how I could best go about doing this? Because I'm actually at a little bit of a loss as to how I might explain this.
So, this is what I'm gonna do. I'll let you do another persuasion check, but no guidance. Or theory or generic can do the persuasion. If any of you has a higher persuasion, to sort of encourage these goblins to attend. Now, remember that they don't. Remember that that doesn't have to be necessarily. Let me see. Like, they don't actually have to give the sort of middle finger to Maglubiet. That's not that necessary.
Mm-hmm.
What's the sort of point of it is to sort of fool him.
Right.
So you can. This is what I'll give you another option. If you have a higher deception, if your deception is higher than your persuasion, you can use that one to sort of give them an excuse that, hey, we're going to burn this charm that'll help you out a little bit, that'll help protect you, or that will be good luck or something. You can sort of spin it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give
That's
any
a
of
good
you the
idea.
option
I can tell you my deception sucks.
I'm looking at a theory, because a theory is supposed to be a rogue. I don't know what your deception is.
Got a plus. Well, oh, deception. Hold on.
I got a
Let's see
+2 in
persuasion.
deception.
Oh, I have a +3. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. Go for
Should
it.
I roll deception?
Can I give guidance to her?
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead and sort of step behind her and sort of hide it a little bit as you like touch her in the back, like, whoop, you've got guidance now.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, not so good.
Okay, we'll roll
Oh, D6, right?
D4.
Or D4.
a D4. D4. An 8.
I don't know if that does anything.
They look at you funny and they're like, "You're a human, but you have a goblin charm for us? Kind of weird." Okay, I guess. You say there's food? Okay,
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
Food and booze.
Yeah. And donuts.
You hear a shout. There's a shout from the back from the humans. Booze? That we never get that on the cards. That sounds good to me. I'm sold. When is it? Okay, then you'll explain this in 6 days. Okay.
So yeah, so it's you said it's in 6 days.
Yes.
Okay, then I guess that's what we'll explain.
Okay. Now, I think for your plan, are you gonna, for part of the plan, did you agree that everybody bring their own thing to burn? or
I
that some of the guild is going to make them and they hand them out.
think there's so many goblins. I think some of the guild's gonna make them, because isn't there a woodworkers guild?
Yes. Okay. So you'll ask the tree carvers then to make little effigies or something like that.
Yeah, I had thought that Tamarin had actually Tamarin Big Suckling had actually mentioned that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that that's what that was. Okay. Great. So Zelix turd like shakes your hand vigorously. Like, thank you for this invitation. We all look forward to it. We're really excited. And then of course there's a couple shouts. So there's no food now, and Zelix turds like, no, sorry, no food now. But in 6 days you will eat until you burst. I love this festival. It's a great party. Okay. Do you have any other questions for him?
I might ask if he's noticed anybody acting particularly suspiciously. If anybody's been acting suspicious.
Okay. He says no. No one has been suspicious. No one has acted suspicious. However, some of the people that have sort of wandered and explored some of the woods near the mountain, Mount Heldar. He says that a couple people say they saw some big hairy thing, but probably them just seeing things.
Did I, when I was investigating for footprints, come over this way? Did those marks I saw, did I see them over here by the outer camp?
No, there's no you don't notice. So in the camp for the tracks, you don't notice any sort of big monstrous hairy tracks. It's just goblin feet tracks. Back in town for checking the houses, you just noted none of it was like monstrous. It's just goblins. There's just goblins and people.
Okay.
All right, that's day one. So you got another 4 or 5 people to talk to.
Do the farmers next?
Okay.
Who's that?
Were we doing the farmers or are we Cheek? Because I figure, because Cheek has a connection to one of the farmers, we'll probably want to get as many of the dwarves and humans as we can on our side, just in case the humans decide to use some kind of excuse, any excuse to say that we haven't done a thorough enough job. Then we'll have some non-goblins on our side, some prominent non-goblins on our side.
Yeah.
Do you want them to help organize, to help contribute, or be witnesses?
Oh. I think just contributing might be, because if they're witnesses and there actually does turn out to be a bar guest, that might just scare the living shit out of them.
Okay, all right. Okay. So I'd like you to choose one. You just need to choose one person. So you can either talk to Cheek or you can talk to the farmers. If you're talking to the farmers, then we'll just assume that Cheek introduced you. We'll not do that. So just pick whoever you'd like to talk to.
I think we can do the farmers.
Okay,
I'd like to also open up input from Janira and Etheri as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the list to see how many other there are. So,
there's only like 3 or 4 people.
yeah. Yeah, let's talk to the farmers. I think.
Yeah, that works for me too.
Okay. All right. So the next day, you start to tour the farms, and you go through. Is there anyone you'd like to talk to first? You can either talk to Farmer Brown, a female dwarf, Farmer Apper. He's a male human who also does a pig farm. There's Farmer Wormwood. Farmer Wormwood is another woman, female human, who does goats and fruit. Or you can even talk to the mayor himself. Or you can just get a general idea of the other farmers. So, is there a specific person, or?
I think the natural place to start with would be Farmer Brown, since she has the connection specifically to Cheek.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, Farmer Brown. So you walk up to Farmer Brown's farm. So Farmer Brown's farm actually is many of the other farms do fields of wheat and grain and barley, but hers is almost exclusively vegetables. So she has very large fields of all sorts of vegetables, and you notice near to her farmhouse is a very, very large herb garden. So you walk up to her and she greets you warmly, like, "Oh, visitors! Cheek told me about you. She told me about Gradal, Etheria, and Genera, and said that you helped defeat the monster in town. That's a scary thing. I hope we don't see any of that anymore. So how can I help you?"
Did you hear about the festival that the festival got pushed up and it's going to be in 6 days?
Oh,
Did the mayor
oh,
tell you that?
oh, oh no, I didn't hear anything from the mayor. Oh, really? I noticed that there were a few more goblins around that were buying things from me, but I hadn't realized that they were holding the festival earlier this year. I don't usually go. I mean, I'm not really acquainted with that. I'm not a goblin. I don't really know what they're doing. Sounds like fun. I hear the music at night.
Well, I think it's also important that we, with the festival, also invite people from outside of the Goblin community in order to build bridges between communities within and in the outskirts of Clarg as well.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that sounds nice. That's good. I mean, me and Cheek are pretty good friends. That sounds like a good thing to do. So what would you like me to do?
Well, come to the festival.
An invitation?
You should
Oh,
come to
oh.
the festival. Yeah, I'm sure the mayor will be fine with that. Everyone's
Oh.
invited.
Oh, wow, really? Oh. You know what? I'm gonna have to bring my prized vegetables, my prized rutabagas.
Oh, that'd be nice of you.
I'm sure those goblins will love it.
Yeah.
Rutabaga salad, poached rutabaga cocktails.
You do have other vegetables besides rutabagas, I assume.
Oh, of course. Those are my best. Those are my prized vegetable. I figured that I should bring my best if I'm being invited to the festival.
Ah.
Okay. Is that it? I mean, thanks for coming all this way just to invite me. I'm really excited. I really am.
So tell me about the other farmers here. Farmer Aper, what's he like?
Well, so let's see. Aper. Aper's kind of an old grump. He's always fighting with Tamarin, or he's always fighting about pigs.
Okay.
Kind of he's just a grumpy old man. Doesn't keeps to himself. Wormwood, she's a nicer person. You know, if you invite Aper, he probably won't come. But if you invite, well, if you tell him there's a pig contest, he'll definitely come because he takes any
Okay.
chance he can to show up the mayor or
Okay.
show up Mr. Big Suckling.
Ah, there's a pig rivalry. Okay.
For Wormwood, she's a nice person. Let's see. What does she have in season right now? Maybe she has some cherries or peaches.
Hmm.
Yeah, you can ask her. She'll bring something very nice.
Cool.
I'll
do that.
Okay. So, who do you want to talk to next then? Aper or Wormwood? Aper's the grump, Wormwood's the fruit lady. Go ahead.
I honestly don't know. I think maybe since I'm not particularly eager to talk to a grump who hates goblins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing that I'm guessing if you're going to visit Wormwood, you'll visit Wormwood. I think that actually this is an opportunity that you can use, to actually bring enough food for the refugees because they're not going to be able to bring anything.
That makes sense.
Okay. So
Okay.
why don't you okay, here's what we're gonna do just for a little bit of fun, and I want you to roll because I like rolling. Gradal, Ethery, Genera, you each get to pick your favorite vegetable. Pick whatever vegetable you like as your favorite vegetable. Roll a persuasion, and that's gonna be the vegetable that Farmer Brown will bring to the festival.
Okay.
No guidance though, no guidance.
Hmm. So we're doing persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion. Oh, Genera.
Nicely done, Genera.
Oh no.
Ah.
Okay, Genera, what's your favorite vegetable?
I like potatoes.
Nice.
Potatoes! Oh,
Perfect.
I got a field full of them. You will see a cart full of potatoes at the festival.
Hooray.
Okay, you can actually visit another farmer if you'd like, April or Wormwood. Or you can visit the mayor real quick.
So is this like just the first day, or is this over the
Well,
course of 4 days?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to be too worried about exactly the chronological order of this. Since you said farmers, I originally said you'll be able to talk to 5 to 6 people. So, I'm counting the farmers together as a group, for the count. So you can either talk to one right now, and then just move on to the next group, or you can talk to another farmer, and I'll count that farmer together, as part of your investigation.
I think we can talk to Wormwood. Some fruit would be nice. And
Yeah.
she
Okay.
does employ
Yeah.
a few goblins, so
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you go to Wormwood, and there are a ton of fruit trees. Every fruit tree that you could imagine. You do see some goblins working there. You notice that it's mostly humans, and that for some of the goblins, because they are smaller, they have climbed higher in the tree than some of the humans, and the humans are sort of like on the ground, like with baskets, sort of going back and forth, trying to catch whatever they drop for them. And so, Foy Wormwood is yeah. So this sweet human woman comes out from the farm, or rather, she's sort of walking among the trees, directing people, and then she notices you coming up the road, and she greets you with the warmest smile, dimples in her cheeks, rosy red color on her face, and she's just absolutely joyed to see you. Hello, I'm for Wormwood. I own this farm here. How can I help you?
Well, we wanted to see if you knew about the festival, if you heard about it from the mayor, and if you were going to come to it. You know, it got pushed up. The date is going to be earlier now.
The mayor, Margaret
Yeah.
Shreve, or were you?
Oh,
No, the Goblin Timoran.
Oh,
your neighbor.
yeah. I haven't talked to him yet. He seems to be really busy lately. But I have heard from some of my goblin workers that the festival is coming a little early this year. Good for them. They really seem to enjoy it. Eh, so so what would you like from me? Do you need my assistance with anything?
Well, we would love it if you could provide some fruit and food for the festival, and we would also like to invite you to participate and allow you to sort of help sponsor the event along with farmer. So it's sort of like a sponsorship, like when you see it like minor league baseball games, where you see, you know, where they have little performance pieces, advertisements, performance pieces between innings. Like you know, the celebrate moment, something like that. Like give a chance for the farmers to advertise their goods at the festival.
Oh, that's interesting,
In
huh?
exchange for participation and supplying some food for the festival as a greater part of sort of building bridges between the goblin community and the non-goblin community in the vicinity of Clark.
You know what? Thank you for the invitation. I am flattered that you're inviting me to this festival. You know, I've always, you know, for all the years I've lived here, I've never actually gone. This is a good opportunity. I've always been curious. And you know what? I will bring some of my prized fruit. Come, you have to taste it. It's delicious. She sort of waves at someone, and they toss her some fruit, and she hands a piece of fruit to each of you.
Thank you.
So you get like a peach. Let me think. Like nectarines, peaches, plums. So what? So so which one should I bring? Just be honest. They're all delicious. I know they're all delicious. Thank you. But which one do you think would be the best though? So
Summer festival, I'd say peaches.
Peaches.
Okay. Is that a unanimous vote? Peaches?
I think so.
Yeah, that works.
There you go. And,
Okay.
and in exchange for the free fruit, I pick out my most beautiful flower that I have to give it to Farmer Wormwood.
Okay, Wormwood, like it's like, oh, sweetie, thank you. She takes it from your hand and she actually puts it in her hair. How lovely, thank you. Okay, so I will make sure to have a few barrels of peaches to the festival. You will see me there. I will be in my finest dress. Thank you for the invitation. Is that it? Is that just the good news to invite me to this party?
Yeah. And how's everything going around here on the farms? Everything okay? You guys having any problems? Notice
Things
anything unusual?
things have been mostly okay. I mean, I have plenty of fruit, but I have noticed seems to be someone or something eating a couple of the some of the peaches. I mean, good choice, and apparently something else seems to be eating it too. They left kind of a mess underneath some of the trees, like just pits scattered everywhere. Real funny thing too.
Did
That
you
I don't
see
think it was. No, I didn't see it, but it had to have been some sort of person. I don't think it was goblins because, like, I found a bunch of footprints or stepped on fruit, um, and some broken branches, but they're all from really high up, or like kind of like the person had to be really tall. It's kind of funny.
So does that happen at night? You think?
Yes, happened at night.
If
Can you show us where exactly you saw this at?
Yeah, sure. So she takes you into the orchards and sort of you takes you past a bunch of trees and a bunch of orchards, and she shows you a tree, and you do notice that there are several pits and half-eaten peaches about, and they do have teeth marks in them, and there's a few tracks, but they're sort of mixed with the worker tracks. So you see like shoe prints and little goblin feet tracks. So if you'd like, everybody can roll do an investigation check. And if you like Grad you can give them all guidance.
I'll definitely do guidance. Would investigation or survival be, since we're looking at tracks and bite marks?
Survival. Uh-oh.
Okay, pick whichever one is higher for you.
Okay.
Both
Oh,
mine are the same,
Lord.
so.
I am rolling like crap tonight.
Yeah, I think we all are almost.
Except Genera.
Oh, God, Janera, nicely done.
That's true.
Okay. Holy Willikers. Okay, so Genera did a 25.
Oh wow.
Gradol did a 8. And Ethery did a 14. Okay. Okay. Okay, so Gradol, Gradol finds broken branches, half-eaten fruit, some funny tracks. It's weird. You're not sure what it is. It's not pigs. It's not goats. It's weird. Maybe some of the kids from the city are coming in, sneaking and eating it. You're not sure. For a theory, okay. For a theory, you notice that the bite marks on the fruit, they're kind of, the bite marks are kind of clean. Clean, kind of like the way a person bites into it. Because if you know animals like birds tend to peck into it, and they'll sort of hollow out the fruit. That's not what it is. If you get some other kinds of animals, they'll sort of chew through it, and then it's kind of messy, kind of, sort of rolled around in their mouth. But no, these are very clean bites. Almost kind of like what you would expect from a humanoid, like an orc or a human to sort of bite into. Okay, so maybe it's a person. All right. For Genera. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Let me see here. Okay, so everybody who's, let's see. Okay.
All right. I suspected this.
Okay, so go ahead, Genera.
All right. So
You can either tell them or you can keep going.
okay. So would I have knowledge of this thing?
General knowledge. Like, you've heard stories.
Okay.
You're pretty sure what it is.
Okay.
So,
Guys, I'm pretty sure these tracks are for Bigfoot.
What?
Sasquatch. Sorry.
A Sasquatch. Yeah. So
We thought that was legend.
what? Well, I've heard some stories, and actually, in some of my studies, and being out on my own as a hermit, I've kind of heard some legends and seen some things. I've seen similar tracks, and I can definitely tell you these are Sasquatch tracks.
Wow. Is Sasquatch dangerous? Is this something we need to warn people about, other than stealing fruit?
Um.
Have you heard anything?
Well, so the farmer sort of laughed. Sasquatch. Ha ha. I mean, those are pretty funny looking tracks. I guess it's Sasquatch. I mean, they look big. Um. I I've heard some stories. Workers have told stories about something smelly throwing rocks at them in the woods. A couple people have told scary stories of something pounding on doors, but no one's ever been attacked by it. I've never heard of it attacking anybody. I mean, with its own hands and feet. I don't know.
Should we invite him to the festival?
If you want to track him down, you can try to track him down. Okay.
I think given the relatively benign nature of the Sasquatch or Sasquatch's actions, that we have greater concerns between the tensions between the humans and the goblins and another possible bar guest in Goblin Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Farmer Wormwood sort of laughs off. Well, I'm not too excited about people just stealing my fruit, but I guess if he just eats fruit, that's not that big of a deal. Y'all don't worry your pretty little heads. I'll set out a few of my hounds, and we'll keep watch. And don't worry, we'll chase him off if he happens to get close. Don't worry about it. So far, Sasquatch has been a rumor, and he'll stay a rumor. Okay.
Gotcha.
So
Maybe
we're
we
gonna.
Okay,
Go
go ahead. I was to say, we'll come back and plant some fruit trees in the forest for him later.
Or just leave, some gift baskets out there
Sorry,
for him.
sorry, stop.
You are gonna leave out picnic baskets for Bigfoot.
Yes.
Smarter than the average Sasquatch.
There's gonna be a flower on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to ask if it's since it's about 9:45, if
Okay.
anyone minded if we signed up a little
Okay,
bit
so
early.
because I really want to wrap this up in the next 15 minutes. Now that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna we'll sign up here early. Next time, you can ask another 2 or 3 people from town for anything at all, or we can just jump straight to the festival. So you can check the notes that I put on Discord server. Now, so in the next 2 weeks or however long we take to the next game, I want you to think of if there's anybody that you can think of to either secure food, secure entertainment, or make sure you have a trap ready for a bar guest, or get on the good side of some of the humans to make sure that they believe you, or maybe any of the hobgoblins, to help sort of control traffic or fight anything or anything like that, right? So this is your opportunity to really sort of plan whatever it is you need to make sure that this is a successful festival and a successful way to end the shadow of the bar guest over Goblin Town.
Right.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have work to do.
Yeah.
Right. Janera, you're Way of the Shadow, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that won't work then. I was thinking because if you're Way of the Open Palm, you can hit somebody or hit a creature and push them. So I was thinking maybe if you were Way of the Open Palm, you might be able to hit the bar guest and push it into the bonfire. But
Well, I mean, I have my other like martial art skills that
Um,
maybe would work. I don't know.
Remember that Genera does have minor illusion. She did cast the illusion of a large fire to help scare the bar guest.
oh, nice.
Oh yeah, that will
Yeah.
So you always have the option of sort of corralling it with the image of a fire, or you can use darkness to blind it at least momentarily. For a theory, remember that a theory that you have because of your thief skills, you actually have a lot of options in combat to jump around and use objects or run around or disengage. So you
yeah.
have that.
I can yeah.
Okay. For Gradol, you're a druid. Trying to remember. You can call up some plant buddies if you'd like. If I remember correctly. Okay. Okay, so we'll call it a night. Thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Have a good night. Enjoy yourselves. See you next time.
You too.
Thank
Thanks.
you very,
too.
very
Have a
much.
good night, everyone.
That was really fun. Have a good week, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh wait.
Or 2 weeks, I guess.
Oh wait. I get confused. This one. Okay.
All right.
What's up, sir? Yeah.
Sounds good.
Um. Okay. October 3rd.
Yeah.
You know what? If the festival is next time and it's in October, then that festival it's supposed to be a summer festival, but I guess I'll make it look like Halloween.
Awesome. Be a great pumpkin.
Oh wow. Oh no. Oh, the great pumpkin. Oh, no,
Oh, we gotta get.
there has to be a goblin. The goblin. Oh, good golly. Okay, wait.
Yeah, there's definitely a theme here.
So it's the goblin. The goblin's name is gonna have to be like Chuck or Jimmy. Let's do Jimmy. Jimmy Black. Jimmy. Burnt Sienna. No, Jimmy Ochre.
Jimmy Ochre. Burnt sienna. That
Jimmy
orangey
Ochre.
color. It is.
Oh wait, but it's Linus that waits for it. Oh. Yeah. Okay, I guess that's why it's called burnt sienna. Okay,
But he's gonna
Jimmy
be
Ochre.
burnt.
um,
We'll go from yeah.
wait, what? Uh, wait, what's the joke if it's Jimmy Ochre?
Pink rock art.
Yeah, I know it as the color, and I'm vaguely familiar with it used as like a material. As long as it sort of includes a vaguely brownish color, I think I'd like that.
Right. Were you going for pumpkin orange? Is that what you were thinking?
Well, no, because it's Charlie Brown, so Charlie, Jimmy,
Oh,
Brown, Ochre.
that's what you were going. Got it. Yeah. Yeah, it can go from light yellow to brown or red according to Wikipedia.
Yeah, I'm looking at images.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that'll work.
Jimmy Ochre. It does.
Um.
I'm slow. I'm slow. Nice.
uh, Okay. Okay.
That was
Jimmy
fun.
Ochre.
I don't know if this is going in the direction you were thinking, but I'm liking it.
Okay. So if